Welcome to today's Mishna Yomi. Today we are going to cover Perek Gimel, Mishnayos Beis through Gimel, Chapter 3, Mishnayos 2 through 3. Writes Mishnah Beis, Yardu litzmachim aval lo yardu li'ilam. So now we're getting into some interesting cases which really began in the beginning of the third Perek, where there's rainfall, but only sufficient rainfall for certain things and not for all things. For example, let's say the rain fell and it's enough rain. It was we'll call it a very small amount of rain. So therefore, again, it's good enough for plants, for tzmachin, but not good enough for trees. So apparently, again, in order for trees to be nourished, they require a heavier rain that's able to penetrate to a greater depth of the earth. So let's say enough rain came down for plants, but not enough for trees, or le'ilan v'lo letzmachin, or the reverse. Enough rain for trees, but not enough reverse for plants. So remember again, we'll get into this a little bit more. The Gemara actually explains this, that heavy rains, while they're good for trees, are not good for plants. So you could have a situation where although there's a heavy rain and perhaps quite a volume of rain, it may not be the right type of rain for plants. So the point that the Mishnah is making is, let's say you have rain, but it's only enough rain to take care of either plants or trees. What's that? Or there's enough rain for plants and for trees, but not enough to fill up the caves, the pits, or the water cisterns. So in other words, there's not enough water for reservoirs, for drinking purposes. So now you have enough rain either for trees and for plants, but not enough rain to fill up the drinking reservoirs. So the common denominator in all these cases is it's raining, but it's not enough rain, or it's not the type of rain necessary to provide for everything. What's the halacha? Masriyan alehen miyad. So we begin to fast, and we begin to blow the shofar immediately. This is the theme of this perek, that interestingly enough, when you begin to see that the rainfall that's coming is only going to be enough to satisfy one particular need, but other needs are being left deficient and uncared for, we begin the process of sounding the shofar immediately, fasting and sounding the shofar immediately. That's Mishnah Beis. We now continue with Mishnah Gimel. So Mishnah Gimel says, V'chein ir shelo yardu alaha gishamim. So too, if you have a city in which no rain fell. So remember, the context of this is as follows. Imagine you have a city, and all the surrounding cities have gotten their requisite rainfall, but one particular city did not. What the Kakasuvi quotes the passage from Amos, V'imtarti al ir echos, va'al ir achos lo amtir, chelka achos timater. So the Navi describes a situation where HaKadosh Baruch Hu will shower rain upon the surrounding vicinities, but will not shower rain upon a particular city. The absence of rain from one city, whereas all the cities around it are getting rain, is taken to be a sign of divine displeasure. As a result, Osa'ir mis'ane u'misra'as, so that city which lacks the rain begins to go ahead and fast and sound the shofar immediately. Because again, the fact that everyone else is getting rain and this one city is not getting rain creates a sense of urgency for that particular city. So they don't go through the normal progression of first fasting and then shofar, but rather again they begin to fast and blow the shofar immediately. Furthermore, the surrounding cities also fast, but they do not go ahead and they do not sound the shofar. Now the reason why do they fast? So the Gemara explains, because they have an obligation to be mishtatef b'tzar. They have an obligation to participate in the hardship of that city which is suffering through a lack of rain. You know, a beautiful, really incredible and beautiful idea of the concept of kol Yisrael arivim zeh lazeh, the idea of mutual responsibility. See, even though the vicinities are properly nurtured, right? They're getting the rain that they need. The knowledge that a close-by city doesn't have the requisite rain requires them to react and to respond in kind. So again, they won't blow the shofar, but they will participate in the fast. However, Rabbi Akiva disagrees. Rabbi Akiva says, Masrios velo misanos. They go ahead and blow the shofar, but they do not go ahead and fast. So interesting, Rabbi Akiva says, essentially the surrounding cities have an obligation to daven for the city that is suffering through a drought, but that's what it means to blow the shofar. It means they daven for that city, but they do not have an obligation to fast for that particular city. Okay, we will stop over here for today. In Meretz Hashem, tomorrow we'll continue with Mishnayos Dalin and Hey 4 and 5. Wishing everyone a wonderful day.